Welcome to Brag Radio, which is all about being rich and generous. Every week, your hosts Kandas and best-selling author Larry Goins will show you how to be rich and generous by investing in real estate. Broadcasting around the world on the Brag Radio Network from the flagship station WBT in beautiful uptown Charlotte, here are your hosts, the rock stars of real estate, Kandas and Larry.
What's up? What's happening?
Beautiful. We never know if it's beautiful or not because we're like in a cage in here. There are no windows in this room
I
at
know,
all.
right?
No windows.
We're out in the middle of nowhere.
It's like a casino, right? You never know what time it is,
No.
what it's like outside.
You have no idea. The only thing is we've got a little timer that tells us how long we can go.
Yeah, that's it. And we have the little countdown from Chad. Right?
2 to 1, 2 to 1.
So welcome to Brag Radio, investing in real estate to be rich and generous. And we teach people how to invest in real estate because that's what we do. We're in Lake Wiley, South Carolina, although I know we have listeners from all over the country, even around the world. Mm-hmm. And because you get calls from those listeners and emails from those listeners, right?
At all times of the day.
And
I
night.
sure do.
And night, right?
Well, yes, all times of the day in the 24-hour period being a day. I get calls all the time. Yes.
That's true. That's true. And we've worked with a lot of people. In fact, just yesterday we had somebody come by and tour the office and, you know, they left with some education in their hand and, you know, are fired up and ready to go out and get started.
That's the best thing. I really think that that's what people come to us for. So almost doing a disservice if you don't leave with something, even if you pay for it.
That's true. Hey.
You come by and get the investor's kit from the office if you're close enough to take a tour. And, you know, that's free. But
see our real deals on the board. See our deals on the board. See what we got going on.
That's right.
Having fun, making money.
Right. That's right.
Good. We wholesale most of our properties. We also do seller financing and lease option properties. We can show you how to do deals in your IRA, your retirement account, your HSA, ESA, 401k. If your 401k has become a 101k, we can show you how to turn it around, right?
Sure.
Exactly. So, you're too funny. So, what are we talking about today? I know you mentioned something about we've had a lot of people that have been calling you, asking questions, and you get people that call in from the show, and the first thing they have is a question, right, about real estate, right?
Well, I would say the first thing is they want the investor kit, which we get that squared away pretty quickly.
So what is in that investor kit?
In the investor's kit, there's a copy of the Real Estate Day Trader book. There's a copy of the HUD Homes Half Off book. There are some other just deeper education CDs, DVDs. There's information on asset protection. There's information on, like, just what you said earlier, 401ks, setting all of that stuff up, being able to entity structure and everything. There's a ton of information in there. Then after we go through getting them set up with the kit, whether they're going to come to the office and take a tour or if they're going to get it digitally, I usually ask people, you know, what's your biggest challenge right now? Have you started with real estate yet, or are you just getting started? One thing that I talked to a student about this past week was he is in Arizona and he's wanting to invest in South Carolina. So he's having a little bit of a hard time understanding the virtual investing, remote investing.
He's in Arizona and he wants to invest in South Carolina?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Now, he has a son here, so that's making it a little bit easier for him to come out. He was just in the state looking at properties and things like that. I told him we've invested in 12 different states, and we don't go out and look. We have somebody go look, but we don't go out and look ourselves.
Well, first of all, okay?
First of all.
He wants to invest in South Carolina?
First of all.
Stay out of my neighborhood. Okay? This is my neighborhood. I got South Carolina wrapped up. Ain't no room for nobody else coming in from the West Coast, right?
South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia are on lockdown.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. There's plenty to go around. You know, it's kind of funny. A lot of people will ask me, you know, Larry, what, you know, if I go out here and I'm buying in South Carolina, you're buying in South Carolina, all these other people, you know, what about all the competition? You know, the competition doesn't scare me. There's plenty of deals to go around for everybody.
Well,
right?
Everybody's going to have different criteria. His buying criteria, his comfortability, what is that word?
Comfort zone.
Okay, good. Comfort zone with his level of risk and things like that are different from ours. I mean, if you're new, it's going to be different from somebody that's seasoned. If you have an office to run with overhead and things like that, it's going to be different if you're a one-man shop.
Because we got to make more money than the average person out there. So
we got a lot of mouths to feed.
Well, yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, so we got to buy them at a deeper discount than what you'd be able to pay for them. It's just who's going to go the extra mile, who's going to put in that extra ounce of effort to get the deal, to structure the deal, to negotiate the deal, or what have you. So that's what I was trying to let him know as well. That's
good.
Yeah. I thought it sounded like what you would say. So.
That is good. So back to the original question.
Yes. What's the best way to get started with investing remotely or virtually?
Well, first of all, is to learn from Larry. Get some
Learn from Larry.
Get some Larry learning. But,
oh my gosh.
But anyway, that's one of the things that we do and we teach people how to do is invest virtually. In fact, I was virtual investing before the term virtual investing even came up, right? And we've done deals in 12 different states right from our office in Lake Wiley, South Carolina. Now, just because you live, where did you say they lived?
Arizona.
Just because they live in Arizona and maybe they're going to buy in South Carolina or North Carolina or Georgia or Tennessee or wherever, doesn't matter. But it doesn't mean if they're not going to look at a property, it doesn't mean somebody's not going to look at a property. They're going to send somebody out to look at the property, to take pictures, to write up a repair list, and to find out what are the amount of repairs that need to be done. What does the house actually look like? What's the neighborhood look like? Does it look like a rental area? Does it look like a fix and flip area? Are there a lot of boarded up houses on the street? Are there a lot of vacant houses or houses for sale?
And what I let this guy know, or gentleman know, because he was very polite on the phone and very complimentary to me. I like that a lot. But anyway, what I let him know is some things that we've done in the past. I mean, we do have somebody go out and look at the property. You could run an ad on Craigslist to get somebody to go do it for you and pay them through PayPal. You could get a realtor to go out and take some pictures of you for the property, or take some pictures for you of the property. You could get a contractor to go out, like Larry was saying, with getting a repair estimate and what does the house actually really need from the standpoint of being able to wholesale it versus being able to retail it, whatever it is you're going to do with it. VP Photo Flow is another company that we use a lot to go out and take pictures of properties for us instead of us having to go out
BPO Photo Flow.
BPO Photo Flow. What did I say? BPO Photo Flow. That's what it is.
Yeah, and WeGoLook.com.
WeGoLook.com does it as well. I let him know you could kind of get, if you got a contractor to go out and you had a realtor giving you information, the realtor should be able to and should really want to give you information on the demographics of the area. What is it going to take for this house to sell with the neighborhood that it's in? What's it going to take for it to sell quick for the neighborhood that it's in? What industries are around? Different things. Who are you going to be able to market to? Whether it's a college town, whether it's, what is that, like a plant or a factory or something nearby, or whether there's hospitals nearby, anything
reports,
like that.
All that stuff.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Yeah, you go to Trulia.com to search the crime and look for the heat map. It should be green. If there's a lot of red, yellow, and orange, then forget about it, because that means there's a lot of crime in the area, right?
Now, all of this stuff, and just like I told him, because he said he had some of our training materials he got a couple years ago, I asked him if he'd been through it. And I know he's listening to the show, so you're going to get called out again. But I did this on the phone, well, have you been through it? Because we talk about this in the material. It's nothing new that I'm telling you right now. It's in the books.
Right.
It's in the course.
Have you read the book?
Have you gone through it? So I would encourage you, if you don't have our education material, hop on LarryGoins.com and check out some of the products and services that we have available to help you. If you are listening to us and you do have it, go through it again. It's kind of one of those good reference sources. If you have a question, just go to the chapter, look in the index and go to the chapter that talks about it, and it's right there.
There you go. Absolutely.
Don't you think?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I've kind of dominated this whole segment with this caller.
That's okay.
And going through that.
That's good. I'm proud of you.
Really?
Gives me a little bit of a break.
Oh gosh, like he talks all the time. Oh, man.
That's
you
funny.
guys give us a call at the office, 877-LARRY-GO. I can talk to you a little bit deeper about the education that we've got available. You can check out all the other Bragg archives on braggradio.com. Get set up with the Investors Kit, an office tour, a 3-day event, mentoring, coaching, whatever you need. Just give us a call, 877-LARRY-GO. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Bragg Radio, investing with real estate to be rich and generous. I'm Kandas.
And Larry.
There you go.
What's up? What's happening?
Thanks, Mr. Air Guitar Player.
Yeah, just sit back and listen to some Van Halen.
So where do we go from here? From the last segment, we were talking about how to kind of get started with virtually investing or investing remotely. Talked about a Bragg caller that I had earlier this week. You guys give me a call anytime, 877-LARRY-GO. It is harder, obviously, for me to answer while we are doing the show on Saturdays, but I will get back to you and get you squared away with whatever it is that you called about.
And be sure and ask your questions, too, because that's what it's all about. We want to answer your questions, just like Kandas has a whole rash of questions here.
Oh, yeah.
That we can go through. And
rashes of questions.
yeah.
Questions falling out the bag.
In the paper from her hand right there, right?
Makes me sound important when I stack the papers.
So what else you got?
Well, with virtually investing, let's say, how do you vet your contractors? If you are one of those fix and flippers, which I know you're not, but if you were one of those people that liked and were a glutton for punishment and wanted to fix and flip, no, I'm just kidding. I know you guys, some of you guys really enjoy it, which is great because the world needs people like you to offset people like Larry. Anyway, how would you vet your contractors for a remote job?
First of all, what you want to do is you want to find a contractor that's come highly recommended by someone else in the industry.
Like a realtor?
Like a realtor. Okay. Absolutely. That's the very first place. A realtor. Number 2, a property manager, right? Number 3, a home inspector.
Oh, that's good.
Right? And there's also services out there that contractors can sign up for to generate leads for their business, okay? And websites like...
Are you okay?
I'm still getting over my cold. Leave me alone. So, websites like Home Advisor, contractors pay to be one of the contractors on Home Advisor when somebody goes there and says, I need a kitchen remodel, a bath remodel, whatever. So homeadvisor.com is good. Contractor.com is good. Needcontractor.com is good. Reliableremodeler.com. Handyman.com.
I don't understand how his brain is so full of all of this just useless.com information.
It's not useless.
It's not useless in situations like this, but who walks around and can randomly ramble off 90% of the websites on the internet to be able to find a reliable contractor?
It's not 90%. It's the top 5.
Well, then I obviously haven't been looking enough. The top 5%.
So it's just because I've done it so often,
Wealth
it so
of knowledge, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't help it. It's in me and it's got to come out. So, but yeah, those are some good sources to find good contractors. And you can find them on Craigslist, but you're better off if you have somebody recommend a contractor to you, like a realtor or a home inspector or a property manager or something like that.
So realtors could give you a lot of different referrals. They could give you referrals for contractors, for attorney or
title company to close your deal.
Title companies that they've used.
Investor-friendly title company.
Right.
That is the key. Investor-friendly title company.
So they could give you referrals for a bunch of different things. Who could give you the best referral for a realtor?
The best referral for a realtor?
Like an investor-friendly realtor to work with.
Here's the thing about finding a realtor, okay?
What's the thing?
It's like finding a good barber, okay?
What's happening with your hands right now? Why do you look like you're plotting something?
I'm not plotting.
Here's how you do that. Let's see.
Just rubbing my hands together, that's all.
All right.
So here's the way you find a good realtor, okay? When it's kind of like finding a good barber, all right? It's you don't find a good realtor by calling and talking to them and interviewing them. You call about a house that is listed. Every listed house has an agent tied to it, right? You with me?
Yeah, I gotcha.
So you're looking, when you call about a house that's listed on the MLS, you're looking for two things. Number one, can I buy this house? Number two, can I work with this agent?
Right.
So you find a good agent by calling about a house and seeing if you can work with that agent while you're trying to buy that house, right?
Okay.
And that's the reason it's like the barber, because you got to get one haircut to determine if you're going back, right?
Very true.
You don't know
That's
if you're going
true.
back or not, right? So
not off the bat, you don't. Yeah.
you call about every listed house that meets your criteria that you want to make offers on, and then you determine, number one, can I buy this house? Number two, can I work with this agent?
All right. Fair enough. That. What about?
Can I ask a question?
You're going to join the show?
Yeah. So so you find the remote contractor and he does the job. How do you check the work? How do you check his work?
Ooh, that's interesting. You get him to take pictures. You'll have before pictures, right, from the house. We've had people. When I say to get pictures of before, when you're looking at buying the house or right when you buy the house, we've had guys that have gone in and taken 200 pictures of the house.
Wow.
And that's what we like. I mean, if there was an outlet that was crooked, he took a picture of it. You know, if there was a stain on the wall that wasn't explainable, even if it was crayon, he took a picture of it because it was going to have to be covered up. So detailed pictures like that are always going to help you with everything before and after a contractor goes in. Then we've also had a guy that took video. Right. And he would walk in and just take a video, floor to ceiling, of all the walls, of all the doors, inside the closets, inside the pantry, under the countertops, everything. And that also can give you a really good idea of where the property is before you start. Then after the work is complete, get the contractor to send you pictures of everything that he does, or send, somebody back out there to do an after video or something like that.
Cool.
Okay, now let me tell you the real way.
Go ahead. I like my way. I'm a visual person, so I like my way.
I'm just kidding, Kandas. Just giving you a hard time. I had to, since you jumped in and kind of took over that.
You sat down.
You're right, I did.
What was I supposed to do?
No, I thought you did a good job.
Thank you for asking a question, Chad.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you joined the show. Yes.
So here, Kandas is absolutely right. You want to get pictures.
We have that recorded.
I
want that
to a certain extent. You want to get before and after pictures, but also when you're dealing with a contractor, let's say they're doing $20,000 worth of work. Okay, so if they're doing $20,000 worth of work, you want to break it up.
Maybe that's a very good point.
Maybe it's kitchen, bath, paint, and carpet. Okay, 4 different things: 5, 10, 15, 20. They're going to do the kitchen. You release 5. They're going to do the carpet. You're going to release 5. They're going to do the bath. You're going to release 5. They're going to do the paint. You're going to release the balance, right?
Don't ever release all of your rehab money up front.
No, absolutely. Because most of the time it's not a question of if, but when they get ahead of you that they walk off the job. And they'll do that. They've done that. They've done it to me. Even a good friend of mine from growing up did it to me. But anyway, so you want to break it up into draws and make sure they do the work, then they get a draw. But in addition to that, what you can do is you can have somebody like an agent, a real estate agent, or a home inspector, or an appraiser go out there and inspect the work. And based on the scope of work, what was supposed to be done, let's say if it's in a kitchen, new cabinets, new countertop, new flooring, and new appliances, then you have somebody go out there and inspect it and look at it and sign off on it and say all the work was done. Then you can release it, right? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Good. So that's the way you do it. You take pictures and you have someone inspect the work for you. You inspect what you expect. And when you do that, you get the results you're looking for. And
that's true also just in business in general. If you have a real estate company now or an investing company now, we're finding that with our office. If I don't inspect it, then people don't respect the measurable enough to actually follow through with it. But on a right before we go to a break here. If you guys are interested in the Investor's Kit, if you're close enough to the office to come by and take a tour, we can get the physical kit for you, have it ready for you. I can get that scheduled, 877-LARRY-GO. Also, give me a call to talk to me about our upcoming 3-day events, coaching, mentoring opportunities, other educational material opportunities, anything and everything. Questions that you have for the show, anything you'd like for us to answer, 877-LARRY-GO or info@braggradio.com. Welcome back, Bragg Radio.
What's up?
How you doing?
Excellent.
Are you
How
different
doing?
from the last segment?
How you doing? I'm good. I'm the
Are
same.
you any different
I'm here.
before we took a break?
I'm here, hanging in there.
How do you choose which air instrument you play? Is it the song? Is it if it's heavy on keyboard, that's when you decide an air keyboard?
The air instrument I always play is always a 69 Strat.
No, it is not. You just
is.
played a keyboard.
Well, unless there's keyboards playing, but then
That's
move
what
right
I
over
just
to it.
said.
I play whatever I hear.
However does.
I play whatever I hear.
He actually has an air roadie that hands him his Air 69 Strat.
How, Chad, do you decide then when to break out the air triangle? Because I don't ever hear a triangle solo.
It's
in anything.
It's all a vibe.
It's a vibe. Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
This show is about real estate most of the time. I promise.
Real estate and rock and roll.
And being generous.
And being generous.
So
Good job,
we
Chad.
have been we've been talking about investing virtually, remotely, and things like that. And when we were on this break, we kind of asked Chad, what is it that he would want to know when it came to looking at virtually investing or remotely investing, and he brought up a really good point. Which is, how do you do the house first, or do you look for the house first, or do you look at the town first? And so it kind of leads into, how do you select the best market?
So the question is, how do you select the market, right, Chad?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, well, basically, I tell people, and here's my whole theory. Especially if you're just starting out, you want to have the highest percentage of probability of being able to do a deal as possible, right?
What?
You want to have the highest probability of doing a deal as possible.
A good deal.
Right, of
Home
course.
run deal.
Well, that goes without saying. So,
Well, you would think that, but not for some people. They get that whole gotta get a deal thing, and then they
That's
get
true.
all messed up, and it's not a good deal.
well, that's true. But my whole point is, if you don't live in a market where you can find deals, or where you can create deals and make deals, in other words, where it's very, very difficult, then you should go to an area where it's going to be easier for you to get deals. Like I tell people, stay out of the hot markets. The hot markets. Hot markets are like just about anywhere in California, a lot of places in Florida.
Like the whole state. Forget
Yeah, the whole state. Just if you're in California, just don't buy in California. Just buy somewhere else, right? Well, here's the problem. See, people out in California getting started in real estate, it's so scary to them because in California, the prices are all like phone
That's
numbers,
true, yeah.
right? Foreign phone numbers.
Foreign
Right.
phone numbers.
So it's scary to them to start investing. And I mean, think about it. If you're in an area where the median price home is $700,000-800,000, right?
Yeah.
The median price is almost $1 million.
Right.
I mean, but in the Carolinas, we buy houses all the time for $30,000 and sell them for 40 or 45, or buy them for 40 and sell them for 50 or 55. We do that all the time.
Right.
See, that's good pot odds right there. It's like playing poker, right?
Good what?
Pot odds, right? In playing poker, right?
I thought you were talking about buying a house in Colorado.
No.
I didn't know what he was talking about. I thought maybe some of his meds had gotten to him or something. I had
What
no
do you mean
idea
some of
what
my
that
meds? I don't
phrase
take
was.
meds.
For
What are you
this
talking
cold,
about?
you have been taking meds.
Oh, okay, I get that.
You don't get all defensive with me
Some
about the meds.
non-recreational pharmaceuticals.
We've already had calls about you getting on the the pharmaceutical recreational. No, don't call.
Yeah, no, I don't play that.
Anyway,
Anyway,
hot odds. Like playing poker, okay.
It's not good pot odds. We're going to make $10,000, but it's a $40,000 or $50,000 house.
Right.
You know, if you're looking at a property that's $700,000, you better be making $100,000 on it if you're going to turn it very fast, right? Mm-hmm. Because you've got a lot of money at risk, right? Mm-hmm. But the way we teach you how to do it, you don't have any money at risk because we show you all of the risk-free ways to do this, you know, without jeopardizing anything. And that's one of the big fears that a lot of people have is I'm scared I'm going to lose money. We talked about that a few episodes ago, right?
Right.
A few weeks ago about all the different fears that people have. And that is a big fear of people. So there you have it. Did I answer the question? I don't even remember what the question was.
The question was, how do you select a market?
Oh, okay.
So, no.
So,
I'm going to give you a big fat no. You did not answer the question.
So let's get back to this. Stay away from the hot markets, okay? And stay away from the depressed markets, right? Now, I used to tell people stay away from Cleveland, Akron, Youngstown, Ohio, Gary, Indiana, Detroit, Michigan, and all those areas surrounding it. But, you know, even quite frankly now, I mean, Cleveland is most of Cleveland is hot right now.
So is Gary.
Except for, so is Gary, Indiana.
Is hot.
So there's a lot of, you know, markets that used to be depressed that aren't anymore. So I like the heartland. I just like the southern states, the Carolinas, Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas, Georgia. You know, Texas is hot right now.
Alabama's doing pretty good.
Alabama is good. And there used to be so many houses in Alabama, right? Mm-hmm. So, and we bought and sold a lot of houses in Alabama, in Birmingham and Montgomery. I've been recommending it so long now that, you know, the students kind of took over and I've just bowed out. So, but anyway, you want a number one, Chad, stay away from the hot markets. Number two, stay away from the depressed markets, right? Not
but
where
keep
you're
an
depressed.
eye on them, though, because just like Gary before, just like Cleveland, Ohio, there are big investors that can come in and turn like a whole block and do major things in the city, and then it makes it easier. So maybe just keep an eye on them and see what kind of renovations are going on and happening around instead of just being the first fish in the frying pan.
Exactly. But you also I like the older cities as well. Older areas and MSAs, metropolitan statistical area like Charlotte MSA. That's Charlotte, Gastonia, Rock Hill, and all those little surrounding areas and towns.
Mint Hill.
Yeah, exactly. So I like the older MSAs, for example, you know, like Philadelphia or Pittsburgh. Let's say Pittsburgh, PA, right? That's an old city, you know, an old MSA. So they've got a lot of inventory, older inventory. There's going to be rental properties there. There's going to be landlords there. In another area, say Las Vegas, it's not as old of a city, right? Hasn't been around as long as the other ones. So you're not going to have as much inventory and older houses that need remodeling where there are landlords and that sort of thing. Does that make sense at all? Hello? Does that make sense?
To me. Are you looking at me or him? It was his question.
Yeah. Good.
What about urban versus rural?
Rural. Urban versus rural. So, here's the way I look at it, okay? You can go deeper, you can go wide. We go wide. We cover the whole state. I don't care. The thing with urban or in the city, you know, maybe I'll expand on that instead of just urban, just like the whole city, right? You're going to find more competition. You're going to find more competition in the big cities than you are in the smaller towns. I love the smaller towns. The vast majority of the properties we buy are in smaller towns because there's less competition. There's, you know, we can just pick up deals cheaper because there's less competition. Now, the downside is there's fewer buyers. But guess what?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say.
We only need one. You only need one buyer per house, right?
And usually they're more solid because they've already looked at the area. They're actually looking at the area for the house instead of the house that's in the area. So they're more stable, right? Maybe they have ties to the community or something like that. So when they sign a contract, they're usually more solid because they're not still shopping you. They've made a decision. They've committed to the house. They like it, and that's where they're going to stay.
Some of our most successful students live on the West Coast where the prices look like phone numbers, and they buy in other areas that we've helped them determine those markets based on what they're wanting to do, and we can help you do that too. Call Kandas right now.
877-LARRY-GO. We can get you set up for an office tour, pick up the Physical Investors Kit, or give me your email, and I'll be glad to send a virtual one out to you. We can talk about the 3-day events that we have coming up. We've just set our calendar for 2018, so we can let you know the cities we're going to be in for that as well. And you can always go to bragradio.com and check out past show archives. Give an email into info@bragradio with any questions, or, like I just said, give me a call, 877-LARRY-GO. Welcome back to Brag Radio. Again, Larry on the air keyboard with the foot pumping this time. Oh, here we got some tambourine going. You guys are so funny. And you all have air faces, like you actually have the instrument in your hands. That's what makes it even better. It's important to get into the groove with it. You'll never convince me of it. That's fine. It's fine, though. I like watching it. It's funny. So for those of you guys that have been with us for a while, and even if you're joining us for the first time, fourth segment is my favorite segment of our whole show. I know we have a lot of fun through the rest of the segments, and we teach a lot, but the fourth segment is where we're really able to highlight students that have been able to get started, either done their first deal, done their 50th deal, and people that are making a difference in their communities and the lives of the people that are around them by or with their time and or blessings that real estate's kind of granted them or given them. So today we've got Carly. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
She's there.
Hey, Carly, how are you doing?
I am great. How are you?
We're just doing awesome. We're doing awesome. We really, really appreciate you taking the time out this afternoon to be able to come on and share a little bit about yourself and your real estate investing and how you're being a blessing to others. We really appreciate it. Guys, Carly is one of our students. She's out there doing deals. She's just getting started, but she's working it, and now she's being a blessing to other people. Right, Carly?
I try to be.
That's awesome. That's so all we can all do, right?
So humble.
That is. Carly, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and about your real estate business?
Sure. I live here in North Carolina. I have 2 boys. My youngest, who just turned 19, is interested in real estate, and he's been working for me. He's a good hunter for properties.
Like a bird dog. He's a bird dog.
He's a very good bird dog. But he finds great deals that I actually look into and make offers on quite a few of them. So he's read some of your books, and he knows the model and knows what I'm looking for. So he's a great source for me to be able to find some properties that helps me save time, not having to look for those myself. I can look for other properties.
And what model is it that you're working with?
We are using the Filthy Rich program.
Okay, awesome.
That is great. So the Filthy Riches model is where you're buying cheap houses, you're turning around and selling them for about 3 to 6 times what you paid with a down payment and owner financing, and then you're collecting the monthly payments. Or you can also sell that note and cash out, or sell a partial note and get your money back and then have the back end cash flow coming in, kind of like building your own annuity, right?
Yes, exactly. And that's what I just did, which is so wonderful.
Oh, great. Tell us about your most recent deal.
So I did my first deal. I bought a property at the end of December, just before the end of the year. You know, they're anxious to close some of those houses out for the banks at that point in time. I actually had 100 people respond to that house that wanted to buy it.
That's awesome.
Quickly. And I bought it for, I don't know, like $7,000.
So you paid $7,000 for the house.
Right.
That's great. And how did you market it?
I did a few things, but Facebook was really the big thing, because on Facebook there's so many rent-to-own, buy and sell pages. So I went to the county and I found the county site on Facebook, and I put that and I posted it there, and I got over 100 responses for it.
Wow. Now, when you say the county, let's teach a little something here. When you say the county website, In other words, teach me. What county website was it on Facebook? How did that work?
This particular property was down near Wilmington, North Carolina. So just outside of there. So that's Pender County.
Right.
So I went, it was 3 or 4 Pender County for sale by owner, for rent, Facebook pages. And so I just kind of searched for those, found them, and posted a picture of the house and what we were doing and the price and the mortgage and everything, which obviously was less than the local rent.
So they're like the marketplace groups on Facebook.
Sort of.
Yeah, good.
That's awesome.
So a huge response. I'm still actually getting responses for it, even though I've removed it.
Wow. So you need another house, don't you?
I need much more houses.
Yes. Much more houses.
Mini much mucho.
What did you sell that house for?
47.
So you bought it for 7, you sold it for 47.
Now, did you have to do like a total rehab and all that stuff to this house or what?
No. I did very little to it. It was in livable condition when I bought it. It did need some paint and new floors, but that was less than $5,000, and I reduced the price of the house by that and let them know, this is what needs to be done, but I left that open to them because I figured they would want to put the floors they wanted in.
So you did not rehab the house, correct?
No, I did not.
And you bought a livable house for $7,000. I'm just trying to point this out here because people are like, you can't buy a house for $7,000. It's a blower-upper, not a fixer-upper. But it does work, doesn't it?
It absolutely works. It's a family of 2 little girls and a married couple. So, yes, they love it.
That's
they were
awesome.
Thrilled to have it.
So you sold it for $47,000. How much did you get down?
Just $2,000.
Okay.
Hey, still, that's great. That's great. And how much are they paying you per month?
Almost $500.
Almost $500 a month. So you got $2,000 down. You have $5,000 in this house plus closing cost, of course, which is not much. Maybe $1,000 or $1,500.
It wasn't even that much.
It wasn't even $1,000. Okay, so you have $6,000 in it, all in, and you're getting $500 a month. So if my math is correct, okay, if you have $6,000 in it, $500 a month, 500 times 12 is 6,000. Now, I'm no genius, but that sounds like 100% return on your money the first year to me.
It is, but I actually already sold a partial on the note, so I made much more than that.
What? So tell them about that. How does that work? How many years was the note for, and how many years did you actually sell for cash?
The mortgage is 15 years, but I sold 5 years of it, and I got $17,000 for the 5 years.
So, okay. I love this.
He's
this
so
is
excited.
huge.
He's so excited.
This is huge because this is textbook.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we teach, and this is textbook.
I read the textbook.
This is
that
awesome.
Textbook every day.
So you sold 5 years worth of the 15. So somebody wrote you a check. A passive investor wrote you a check for $17,000. And now they're going to collect those $500 a month for the next 5 years. But after those 5 years, then you get to collect the $500 again, right?
Yes.
That's huge. I love it. I love it. We got to talk about the bragging part though. Okay.
Okay.
So because we only got a couple minutes left, but first of all, congratulations. I'm so excited for you. You got one down and many more to do. Okay.
Many more to do.
There you go. So tell us a little bit about how you are being generous with whether it be your time or your resources.
Well, with my time, my big thing that I do is I teach first grade Sunday school. So I get about 26-year-olds every Sunday morning.
Wait a minute. 26-year-olds in Sunday school?
26-year-olds.
Oh, okay.
Yes. It keeps your hands full.
I bet so. But,
yeah, so I get to take that time and spend with them and teach them things that they don't know yet before I get to them. So I get to teach them their big prayers and, the sign of the cross and the Hail Mary and the Our Father that they don't know. They're left-handed or two hands trying to do the sign of the cross. It's very cute. So we teach them the proper way. So
that's great.
It's fun to do that. I've been doing that for about 6. I think this will be my 7th year. So I've been doing that for some time.
That is awesome. Well, I'm really, really, really proud of you. You are a textbook student. You got the education you needed. You went out there and you did it, and you made money, and now you're building an annuity where you'll have some cash flow, and you're being a blessing to others. Carly, thank you so much for being on today. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed it. You guys have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
For more information about what Larry and Kandas discussed on today's Brag Radio, leading the world to be rich and generous, go to bragradio.com. You can also call 877-LARRY-GO for a free investor's kit, or to schedule a tour of the office or get more information on upcoming events. That's 877-527-7946. Tune in again next Saturday as best-selling real estate investing author Larry Goins and co-host Kandas teach you the latest strategies and techniques the pros use to make money in real estate. It's Brag Radio, leading the world to be rich and generous on News 1110 99.3 WBT.